A financial and mechanical catastrophe is quietly unfolding across Australia, and most buyers have absolutely no idea until the dashboard lights up. Across dealership strips in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, thousands of brand-new dual-cab utes sit completely unsold, gathering dust and costing dealers money daily. This is not a story about rising interest rates or a bad economy. It is about a deliberate engineering compromise hidden beneath a six-figure price tag. For 5 years, Australians were convinced that spending $80,000 on a glorified work truck was not just reasonable, but almost inevitable. Waiting lists stretched for months. Buyers were practically grateful just to get an allocation. Then the music stopped. The buyers walked away, and the lots filled up. To understand this moment, go back to what the Australian ute actually was before the marketing departments got their hands on it. The ute was born in Australia, conceived as a utilitarian masterpiece designed to carry a farmer to church on Sunday and haul pigs to market on Monday. The old Falcons, Commodores, bare-bones Hiluxes, and venerable Patrols were affordable, mechanically transparent, and nearly indestructible. They were tools. Over the last decade, marketing departments in Detroit and Tokyo identified a gold mine in the humble commercial ladder frame chassis. They bolted on leather seats, installed 12-inch infotainment screens, flared the wheel arches aggressively, and suddenly justified charging $80,000 for it. They gentrified the workhorse, transforming the tradie's most vital tool into an oversized status symbol for weekend warriors and middle management accountants. By the time you add a bull bar, canopy, dual battery, and 4 passengers, many of these luxury utes are already illegally overweight before a single tool goes in. When you pay $80,000 for a vehicle, your brain assumes the price tag equals a bulletproof drivetrain. That assumption is devastatingly expensive. Modern utes are no longer powered by heavy, under-stressed, large displacement engines that made the previous generation legendary. Downsizing has changed everything. To make a 2-liter motor move a 2.5-ton truck while towing 3 tons, manufacturers force-feed it air through twin turbochargers at terrifyingly high boost pressures. You are taking an engine block the size of a sewing machine and asking it to do the work of a small locomotive. The thermal and mechanical consequences are severe. The EGAR valve routes hot, soot-filled exhaust gas back into the clean intake manifold to be burned a second time, slowly poisoning the engine from within. Over time, exhaust soot mixes with crankcase oil vapor, forming thick tar-like sludge that progressively chokes the intake manifold and suffocates the engine slowly. The manufacturers are fully aware of this progressive engine contamination. They have categorized it as an acceptable operational casualty of modern emissions compliance. The diesel particulate filter is a ceramic honeycomb trap welded into the exhaust, designed to catch microscopic soot particles before they enter the atmosphere. When the DPF reaches capacity, the engine dumps raw diesel into the exhaust to ignite a controlled burn inside the filter at temperatures exceeding 600 degrees Celsius. If you commute through city traffic and drive short distances, the exhaust never reaches the temperature to complete that burn. The filter clogs, and the vehicle enters limp mode. The dealership connects a diagnostic computer, informs you that you operated the vehicle incorrectly, and presents a DPF replacement bill of $5,000 to $8,000. Toyota was dragged through federal court in a massive class action involving over 260,000 vehicles over defective DPF systems in their 2.8-liter diesel engine. The specific issue produced foul white smoke, plunging fuel economy, and accelerating engine degradation. Even the world's most trusted brand could not escape the structural problem. The complex 10-speed automatic gearboxes fitted to modern utes constantly hunt for the right ratio, because the small engines produce almost no usable low-end torque until turbo spool. That constant searching and shifting generates immense heat. Torque converters slip, degrade, and fail well before the 100,000-kilometer mark on supposedly long-life vehicles. 3.5-ton towing capacity, printed in every modern ute brochure, is a mathematical fiction, deliberately engineered to sell caravans to retirees across this continent. Manufacturers bury the concept of gross combined mass. If you hook a 3.5-ton caravan to your ute, the remaining legal payload in the vehicle itself drops to nearly zero. If you are pulled over or involved in a fatal accident while overloaded, your insurance is voided, and you face potential criminal negligence charges under Australian law. Minor animal strike used to mean a bent bull bar and a replacement headlight. In a modern ute, it can mean $10,000 in destroyed electronic sensors. Modern utes are embedded with millimeter wave radar modules, ultrasonic parking sensors, and high-definition cameras calibrated for autonomous braking and lane keep assist. Insurance companies are now writing off brand new utes after seemingly minor collisions because recalibrating autonomous systems exceeds the salvage value of the truck. In 2026, the industry is adding mild hybrid systems to these already fragile platforms, strapping 48-volt batteries and electric motor generators to stressed diesel powertrains. They are mixing high-voltage electrical architecture with fine outback dust, brutal corrugations, and river crossings, compounding the points of failure exponentially. What you are being sold is a highly experimental, over-engineered science project wrapped in sheet metal with a delayed catastrophic failure built in after warranty expires. The tradies who actually understand mechanical systems have already worked this out. That is precisely why they are walking off the lots without signing anything. The financial structure surrounding these vehicles represents perhaps the most brutal retail trap currently operating in the entire Australian consumer market today. Very few people place $80,000 in cash on a desk. These vehicles are being moved through highly leveraged financial instruments and structurally toxic, novated leases. Finance an $80,000 ute over 7 years at 8.5% interest, and you will pay over $106,000 total for that vehicle. The moment that ute rolls over the curb, it loses 20 to 25% of its value. That is nearly $20,000 evaporated in the first 12 months alone. By year 3, as the DPF chokes and the transmission shutters, your ute is worth $45,000 on the market, but you still owe the bank $60,000. That gap is called negative equity. You are upside down. You cannot sell the vehicle without writing a $15,000 check out of your own pocket just to clear the debt. Salespeople push novated leasing hard, selling the dream of tax optimization and fringe benefits tax exemptions to people on average salaries, driving top-tier luxury utes. When year 5 arrives, the leasing company demands a balloon payment of 30 to 40% of the vehicle's original value, just to retain the asset you have been using. The consumer faces a binary trap: refinance at punishing interest rates and stay in perpetual automotive debt, or hand the keys back and walk away with absolutely nothing after 5 years. In 2026, an unprecedented collapse in retail demand is unfolding. Dealerships are suffocating under 120 to 150 days of unsold ute inventory. Dealerships operate on floor plan financing, borrowing money from the manufacturer's banking arm to stock their lots, paying interest on every vehicle sitting unsold daily. This is why Ford and Kia are issuing $15,000 discounts on brand new hybrid utes, desperately trying to offload depreciating metal before the financial year ends. Wages have not kept pace with automotive hyperinflation, diesel costs, insurance premiums, interest rates, and the prospect of out-of-warranty repair bills have created a perfect financial storm. The $80,000 ute is no longer a tool of the trade. It has become a financial liability, dressed in sheet metal, and sold as a lifestyle aspiration to ordinary Australians. The Australian automotive market is not experiencing a crisis of supply. It is experiencing a crisis of consumer awakening. The illusion has finally and decisively shattered. People who actually need these vehicles for their livelihoods, builders, infrastructure workers, and farmers, have done the mathematics and are walking past the showroom windows entirely. They are hunting the used market for pre-negative 2015 mechanical survivors, seeking out old Land Cruisers and TD42 Patrols with mechanical injection pumps and zero complex emission software. They are buying them with cash, maintaining them meticulously, and sleeping peacefully at night while others lie awake under the crushing weight of a 7-year loan. The era of the financially toxic lifestyle ute is coming to a violent end in this country. Let the dealerships hold the inventory, and let the manufacturers absorb the losses. Keep your capital, Buy smart and never finance a depreciating asset that was engineered from the very outset to fail long before you finish paying it off.